What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of New York Giants Conversations. New York Giants Convo. I'm your host, Unpopular Opinion Sports, with my co-host, Big Pat Sports Talk, man. And we are here to give you all your Giants news, notes, and just have a conversation about this team. And there's a lot going on with this team, albeit the offseason. You still got a lot of news, a lot of drama, a lot of chirping, a lot of talking, and a lot of hype. Is it warranted, or is it, as I would like to say, as we like to say over here, is it out of pocket? So we're going to get into all that. OTAs is up, and the Giants getting busy. Had one last night, got another one coming up this week. So we're going to talk about that. The guy y'all love to hate, Mr. Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Schoen was coming back, is getting a contract, agreed to a contract extension. You know, I got my unpopular opinion on it. Been telling folks, like I've been telling folks about a lot of things with this New York Giants team that nobody want to listen to your boy about. But again, Joe Schoen back. We're going to get into that. I'm going to share my thoughts on that. What's always the number one thing with the New York Giants is injuries, man. And they popping up again, sure enough as shit. So we're going to talk a little bit about Nabers. So there's some Andrew Thomas stuff going on out there. And already 2 season-ending injuries for the New York Giants, man. So we're going to talk about that. Inside the NFC East, going to peep into our NFC East rivals, see what's going on with those teams. And on the money or out of pocket, because shit is getting out of pocket out here. Real talk, man. But before I do that, before we hit the play button on this show, officially, Big Pat, man, what you doing? Chat, talk to me. How y'all feeling out there?
Yeah, man, it's a lot to have a little convo about Giants Convo. You know, your favorite New York Giants show, Sunday mornings, man. We're going to talk about these New York Giants, man. Shout out to Coach. Yeah, hit that like, sub up, be notified, comment in the chat. Y'all know what to do. This is New York Giants Convo with your boys, Big Pat Sports Talk, NYG22. It's the unpopular opinion himself. And, man, I'm ready to talk some Giants, man. Let's have this conversation.
Let's hit it, man. Do that, do.
All right, Giants Convo coming up. If I could get to the intro. Welcome to Giants Convo.
All right, man. Coming right back at it with Giants Convo, man. Giants Conversation again. Like we said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Share this on your social media platforms. We are streaming on multiple platforms. We're going to be adding more here soon. Going to try to be on Twitch. Going to try to be on TikTok. So y'all be on the lookout for that. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Like I said, it's a lot going on, but I do want to start with some OTA stuff, man. Some OTA news coming out, and we just got to get right into these injuries. You know, the injuries are always showing up. They always popping up, man. We got injuries already, man. So here we go. All right, man. Injury update, man. Brought to you by the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. So, check it out, man. Roy Robertson Harris tore his Achilles and will be out for the season. Roy Robertson Harris, per Dan Duggan, tore his Achilles, will be out for the season. And that's a big blow for the New York Giants because he was the starting 3-tech on that defensive line last year, started all 17 games. So the Giants did bring in, though, DJ Reader, but he's going to play the nose. But you still got Shelby Harris. You got Leaky Fontu. And you have Darius Alexander, your third-round pick from last year. So definitely there's that to talk about, man. And we wish Roy well. But the Giants are going to have to do something there. A guy we talked about a couple weeks ago, Chauncey Golston, it might increase his chances to make this roster because, if he's a guy that they think can slide down in that position, maybe he gets a roster spot that way. There's also, talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. Could he move down to play D-line in some situations? You could do that. But overall, man, I'm going to pass it over to my football aficionado, Big Pat, man. What is your thoughts on this Roy Robertson Harris? The name you can't remember. What's your thoughts on your man and how big of an impact do you think this injury is going to have on this Giants team this year?
It kind of sucks because Roy Robertson Harris, it was one of my guys on the defensive line that I thought that could make a huge impact in stopping the run this season, playing that 3-tech. So that's gonna make people like Darius Alexander have to step up in the second year and become that 3-tech. We still have Shelby Harris. We still got DJ Reader, which now those signings are tremendously important because we didn't get those guys and Roy Robertson Harris with them. My goodness. But what about our what's going on? I think that's LRP if I'm not mistaken. Does somebody like our 6th-round rookie have to step up now? Is this red shirt? Yeah, Bobby Jameson. Now I gotta get his name right. These 2 name guys. But Bobby Travis Jameson, I think that's what his name is. Is his red shirt year now revoked? Now does he have to go out there and be that primary nose tackle, and you can move DJ Reader and Shelby Harris to the 3-tech and the 5-tech in certain situations and against heavy run teams like the Eagles? Does one of those undrafted rookies have to step up now? Darius Alexander, now the pressure's been amped up. So now in his second year, does he have to be one of the primary defensive linemen this year now? What about Leaky Fotu? Is he a good replacement for Robertson Harris? So, but it is good that we have a bunch of depth, but I think losing Harris is going to alter plans just a little bit because I think they had plans for Robertson Harris, me personally. But he could have been in the battle to even have a job, so who knows? But that was one of the guys I did like on the defensive line because I know what he was about. I knew what Robertson Harris was about. He was about stopping the run, and he's a high motor guy. So when you lose a guy like that, it kind of hurts, and people might look that off, but it may be more to it. Who knows? But that guy right there had to get that defensive tackle position filled, and I'm glad he signed 2 veterans. Actually signed 4 veterans, but we'll see what maybe an undrafted rookie could come up and make some noise, or Bobby Travis Jameson, or Bobby Jameson Travis, whichever one it is. I'll figure it out, guys. Maybe he has to step up. So who knows?
Yeah, that wasn't the only injury news, and I agree with you there. Those guys are gonna have to step up, and I think they can. I do have confidence in Reader, especially, and Alexander. A guy we talked to at the last Senior Bowl we went to. So, but then there is Malik Nabers. and that's the one that's got everyone worried here. So I am going to play a clip from Adam Schefter, and just let you guys kind of listen to what he has to say on the Malik Nabers situation. All right.
We'll start off with the fact that he's in the building, he's working hard, he's rehabbing, he's trying to get back as soon as he can. But saying all that, I just don't like the way that any of this sounds, right? There's a second knee surgery. There's some scar tissue and stiffness that they need to address. It's a complicated procedure. They don't know if he'll be ready for opening day. Whoa. It certainly sounds like, at the very least, opening night against the Dallas Cowboys at home is in jeopardy. And it almost feels like, at this point in time, that it would be more unlikely that he would play in that game than it is likely that he would play in that game. And look, Jaxson Dart is the quarterback of the future there. If we go back to last year when they finally called on Jaxson Dart and Malik Nabers played one half of football together. This should be the Giants' future together. Their star quarterback, their star receiver. And we have not gotten to see them play because in the first half of that game last year against the Chargers, Nabers tore his ACL, did other damage to the knee, went out of the game, and now has had 2 surgeries since then. And opening night, at the very least, is a major question mark as to whether or not he'll be able to make it back for that game against the Cowboys right now.
All right. So you hear Schefter there say, that it's a maybe, it's a if, Malik Nabers will be ready. So there is definitely some concern. I don't like to hear this because when you play those type of positions like wide receiver, corner, I mean, like that's really sensitive, man, and hard on your legs and your feet and different things like that. You running, jumping all the time, on every play. I don't know if the Giants, can the Giants really be like that without Nabers? Because there's a lot of high expectations for this team, but if Nabers is hobbled or has to miss first half of the season or something like that, or maybe he just ain't right the first half of the season, because remember, coming off ACL, you think about a year from the day. So that's right in that little first 4 or 5 game window, because I think he got hurt against the Chargers last year in October.
Yeah.
So that's right. You see what I'm saying? That's right in that window of that year period. And being that we know he's not ahead of schedule, obviously. So he's either on time or behind. And so again, I feel like Malik Nabers is probably not going to be ready for the first part of this season for the New York Giants. Can they get through that without Nabers? Do they need to go out and sign a veteran? And that's what a lot of people are talking about right now. I told you guys about the whole Beckham thing. I said the only way he comes in on the New York Giants is if they're concerned about Malik Nabers or if somebody else has an injury. Boom. You open the door for that now. But do they go out and sign Beckham, or do they like what they got on their roster and do they just roll with the guys that they already got? That's my question for you, Pat, and for the chat. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like on the way in.
I think this whole Malik Nabers situation is a little bit overblown, and I'm gonna explain my reasons why. It's a knee injury. Why are we trying to rush this guy back for week 1? If he's not ready for week 1, then he's just not ready for week 1. But you got to wait till you get 100% Nabers back. It's not like it's going to take him 5 years to come back. Maybe he comes and plays week 3 or week 4. Okay, we played, 14 games without him last year? It'll be okay.
Yeah, he didn't look good in those games either. So that's the point.
Actually, he did. He played very well against the Cowboys. He played good against the Commanders.
No, you said he didn't play in 14 games last year. So I said the Giants didn't look good in those games. He didn't.
Oh, of course, we were a bad team last year.
Right.
We weren't gonna look good with him out there.
But that's what I'm saying. But the point is my question is to you and to the chat, like I said, is are they good with what they got, or do they need to go out and fill that spot for a number one guy?
Yeah,
or at least a fill-in. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that.
Mm.
It all depends on how much pressure you want to put on Malachi Fields at the beginning of the season.
Mm.
That's what I'm getting to, because let's just say, because Slayton is hurt as well. That is true. He has a core muscle.
He'll be all right, though.
He'll be all right. So are you cool with Darnell Mooney and Slayton and Isaiah Likely and Theo Johnson being your main targets in the beginning of the season? I think you can roll with that if you're predicated on the run. See, a lot of people getting this misconstrued, think you have to have this supreme outside receiver when the system that John Harbaugh is running is going to be predicated attacking the middle of the field with those big men and running the ball. So that will allow you to allow Nabers to get back to 100%. And it's not like they're predicted to win the Super Bowl or anything. Now, I get it. Yes, we do need our number one receiver. This is not me saying that we don't need Nabers. That's stupid. But I am saying you still have Isaiah Likely. You still have Theo Johnson. You still have Darnell Mooney. You still have the running game. And you have a different energy about this team. This team, I think, will go into the season believing they can win. And when you believe you can win with a couple of people that you don't expect to win with. Maybe this allows Malachi Fields to get some reps in the beginning of the season. You know, because when Nabers comes back, and if you're not ready for him to go out there, it's going to be Darnell Mooney, Tavon Austin, and Darius Slayton before he can even touch the field. So maybe when you're running the ball a little bit more, he's going to get a lot more reps out there on the field because he's the best blocking receiver. So maybe he comes in with the play action. Oh, they get ready to run the ball again. He's out there big. Fake like you get ready to block and let him run down the field, and maybe he catch it over somebody and get some confidence. Am I worried? No. Is it concerning? Yes. I'm just concerned for the player, not because he's not going to be on the field. I'm concerned for the player. Hopefully this knee injury is not something that hinders his career and slows him down completely. I'm worried about Malik Nabers, not about him getting on the field. He'll get on the field eventually when he's 100% healthy, but don't put him on that field until he's 100%. That's where a lot of franchises messes up. I gotta get my guy out there. No, Brian Daboll. Let Jaxson Dart be in the 10 and get checked out. So I'm not as harsh or super overly concerned about Malik Nabers maybe not being ready for week 1. My concern is about the player, period. And hopefully that knee is good. He's been around talking, he's been around joking, so it must not be no bad news. It's just taking them, people's bodies react differently. So this is his first major injury, so you got to expect for him to be a little bit slow coming back from it. This is his first major injury. Because I don't think he was injured at all in college. So
nah. I do believe though that the first part of the season kind of helps the Giants. I mean, those first 2 games, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be tough regardless. But the first part of the season, when we looked at it, you know what I'm saying? I think they got the Cardinals, teams like the Titans, the Commanders or whoever. So I do believe they can weather the storm if they want to take extra precaution, allow Malik to sit out for the first 4 games of the season. Because I think somebody I was listening to, they said the PUP, it's only 4 games now, not 6. So say they put him on PUP for the first 4 games. Here's what I would do with the Giants. I'm halfway with you, Pat, and I'm halfway not there. Only because I do not believe that this New York Giants team, just from a body standpoint, I don't think they can just go on there, you know what I'm saying, missing their top wide receiver. I do think you need to add another significant player, a player that somebody has to account for, that's respected. You see what I'm saying? Because again, with that, if you don't, it's gonna make your team sort of one-dimensional if you're just leaning on that run too heavy. Now, I will say that the guys they got, yeah, okay. You know, I already told you how I felt about the receiving core minus Nabers. I feel about it better with Fields there, but Fields is a rookie. We cannot expect that dude to go out there and be a number 1 receiver right off the bat, although he does have potential to be at least a number 2, I say. Now, and then you want to allow him to be a rookie. This is what we've been talking about, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of these shows, you know, how the Giants had depth and we don't have to throw our guys right to the fire right away. So if you go out there and you get OBJ, or if you go out there and you get, they talking about Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, or whoever it is, and you say, all right, cool, our plan is to, you know, Fields may have to play a little bit of a bigger role those first few games, but you still have Mooney, Slayton, and then that other player that's done something in the league that teams can't just sit back and chill on. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what they're going to do. Now, and when Malik comes back, okay, what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? You may have another injury and you might have to still keep the guy you just signed or whatever on the roster to play a major role, or you can just allow those guys like Fields, you know, on the back end of the roster to kind of come along a little bit slowly or play in different roles and different packages for you throughout the season. So I do think they need to add another receiver, and I think they will add another receiver. But I don't think the ceiling is falling. That's why I'm with you at, because Malik Nabers is not going to be ready for the beginning of the season.
So I know you're going to go to the next topic, keep the show rolling, but I want to ask you this question because this is Giants Convo. So let's have a conversation. I'm going to name this roster, and I want you to tell me what you think about it. From your standpoint. You know the offensive line, you know Scatterbo and Tyrone Tracy are the running back. So are you not confident in a Theo Johnson, Isaiah Likely, Mooney, Slayton, Malachi Fields passing game? We're strictly talking about the passing game. We're not worried about the run game. Are you confident in those pass catchers to hold it down?
You said who now?
Isaiah Likely, Theo Johnson, Mooney, Slayton, Fields, your top 5 targets for Jaxson Dart. What do you think about that for Jaxson Dart, and what do you think about that lineup as for the passing game? Because that's basically what it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's average, and I think you can beat trash teams. Good to average to better teams. I don't think you can win with having Mooney or Slayton as your de facto number 1, even with those tight ends, because teams can cover that. You know what we're talking about. I'm not going to be long-winded, but teams can cover those tight ends in the middle of the field and make you beat them on the outside. So again, if you don't got guys that can do that, Fields I think can do it, but we talking about a rookie. That's my question.
So you don't have confidence in Darnell Mooney being an outside receiver. Is that it?
I just top flight competition. No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You got
it. But good stuff. But yeah, I don't think they dead in the water either way. All right. Now let's go to the other news, and I'm gonna play a clip here of our left tackle, Mr. Andrew Thomas, talking, man. And there's some concerns with Andrew Thomas once again, but we're going to let him tell it from his own you know what. So let's cue that up. And all right.
It sounds like Harbaugh said you did some, but you're also maintaining shoulder and foot.
Yeah, they have a nice ramp up plan for me. Just precautionary thing. Obviously, what we care about is September being ready. So I've been trusting that. It's definitely tough, sometimes because I want to push and I want to get better. But I'm trying to trust the process to make sure I'm ready to go when it counts.
But you'll probably do more than you've done in the spring.
Than before, yeah, right.
Andrew,
I'm not in the boot walking around. You know what I mean?
shoulder from last year.
It's like lingering, something that I have been dealing with, but I think I'm in a good place.
What about the foot? Is that the thing that you've been dealing with the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's just maintenance. Obviously, the Liz Frank tough injury, but we're doing our best to manage it.
But it sounds like Harbaugh said you did some. But
All right, so you hear Andrew Thomas there talking about his injury and how the New York Giants are bringing him along slowly. Now, again, this is not the foot. This is a shoulder issue with Andrew Thomas this time. And, man, I love Andrew Thomas, man, but this is starting to be a little bit concerning here with the injuries with AT. He does miss, a handful of games almost every year. And the Giants have, to their credit, built some depth on the offensive line, but this is your best offensive lineman, and it ain't a question. CC is a rookie. Jermaine is good, but he ain't Andrew Thomas Pro Bowl level good. So again, it's not the injuries for me. It's always the top key guys for the Giants. And again, we're talking about your left tackle. Now, can they do some moves? Can they slide Bo over, who I think Marcus Bo did play left tackle in practice. So he's going to get his fair share of reps there, which is a good thing because it's 9 times out of 10 a good chance he's going to have to go in at some point and replace this man right here, Andrew Thomas, because his body's wearing down, But when healthy, when on, yes, he's one of the best. So the Giants, I think, are doing the right thing by bringing him along cautiously. But what's your thoughts on this Andrew Thomas news here, Pat? Because that's your left tackle, and a lot of what we talking about with this Giants offensive line being much better and actually being able to run the football is predicated on Andrew Thomas being there for the majority of the season.
I mean, do you have reason to be concerned for this season? I don't know, man. Like you said, it was maintenance. It's a shoulder injury. Only thing I'm concerned about is that Frank injury. Is he overcompensating on other parts of his body because of that Frank injury? And if so, his body will continue to break down. You'll get shoulder injuries, other type injuries because you're compensating for that foot. The only thing I'm worried about is he confident in going out there and being Andrew Thomas? Is he really over that Frank injury? A shoulder, okay, cool. It's not like he tore a rotator cuff or something. It's just a little maintenance. But it is a little bit concerning because this happens with Andrew Thomas every single year. So I think this is a product of you overusing your star players and not having depth on your team for the whole time he's been here. You don't have depth, so you're going to play this guy when maybe he should get a little bit of rest here or there and could stop him from getting that Frank injury that he got, but you're playing him on bad hamstrings and bad feet, so is this a product of him, starting to deteriorate? I hope not, because he's still very young. What is he, 27, 28? So
he's still I think older than that, probably like 28.
Yeah, he might be 28, and you could check, but I'm not going to be worried about it until they say he's officially on the injury report. You see what I'm saying? Where we play that injury thing and Andrew Thomas is not playing.
Yeah, right.
So that's when I'll get concerned. But
Yeah.
we got Marcus Bowe, we got JC Davis.
He's 27, so
27. Yeah, I knew he was around 27, 28 because he's been in the league, 5 years or 6 years? And I think he came out real young. He came out early 20s. So Giants fans, you gotta if he is deteriorating or if he is breaking down, you gotta put that on the franchise because they played this guy with hurt hamstrings. Remember the Dallas Cowboys game when he went down?
What
They will
coach?
throw him back out there.
See what I'm saying?
Dable, a lot of our good players that Dable had, he's ran them into the ground. Malik Nabers, ACL. Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, the list goes on and on. You could keep naming
To lose games on purpose.
Yeah.
Which what they was doing, which is what I said.
Even Darius Slayton is breaking down a little bit. He's been consistent as playing games, but the past couple of years he's missed games. So we have to put this on not having depth, and hopefully John Harbaugh came in at just enough time to save some of our top players. But overly concerned, no, until he's officially on the injury report. Then you can start to worry. In my opinion.
Got you. So next thing we're gonna talk about here is I'm gonna play what Jaxson Dart had to say here, and he talked about how he got to change his playing style to kind of avoid, everybody always talking about, the injuries and yada, yada, yada. So, he talked a little bit about what he's doing to kind of address some of that. So take a listen.
How much you have a new regime here, right? How much they talk about that with you, or if they, preach that to you, hey, you need to get down on certain situations. That's something that is at the forefront of their radar at all.
Yeah, we had that was one of our first meetings, with Coach Callahan, just pulling up my tape and, just going over situationally, is it worth the risk here in this situation? And, that's what we talk about a ton is just situationally, just being smart. Coach Giro talked about it today. It's important for the quarterback to make sure that, how he's feeling one play, that he's going to feel, that same way the next play. And then at the same time, just having the experience last year of sitting out 2 games, I hadn't done that in my career. So, I just hated that time of not being out there with my teammates. So I obviously understand, the most important thing is to be out there. So you just grow and learn from things. And yeah, I think I'm going to do a good job at this year for sure.
All right. So Dart, talking about what he learned, that the importance of being out there on the field for his teammates, protecting himself, not putting himself in harm's way, all that stuff, because these reporters, they just keep on. They act like this dude was Sterling Shepard out there, just getting fucking broke up every damn play. You know what I mean? But it's not like that. And this is one of those things that I do think is overblown. I mean, he has some concussions. It's football. Okay, cool. If the dumbass coach wouldn't keep trotting him out there, run him into the teeth of the defense, this wouldn't be a problem. You got a different coach here, and everybody want to celebrate Brian Dable. This fan base is A1 ape shit crazy as hell. Because y'all celebrate Brian Dable, but Brian Dable's the one almost got this dude killed. And it's like, everybody want to say, well, Brian Dable drafted Jaxson Dart. No, Joe Schoen drafted Jaxson Dart. Brian Dable almost got him killed. And we're going to talk about Joe in a little bit. But what's your thoughts on this Jaxson Dart and what he said here? And what do you think he can honestly do differently, and during the season to kind of alleviate some of this noise about, him being kind of reckless out there? They had some of the same questions with Drake May too, by the way. who everybody loves and applauds. Go ahead.
I just want to have a conversation with the Giants media heads that are in that building, like Rat Leonard and all those guys and
That
his
dude
fan
is
base.
a
I can't stand
punk.
him.
Yeah.
But this is what you do to your players, man. You put these narratives on these players, and the worst thing you could do is put a narrative on a player and having him thinking about this bullshit when he's going out there playing. And you're going to make him a tick slow. You said this in a film review, not a film review, but when we did a Giants video, a Giants Uncut. Let him do what the fuck he do. Let him do what he do. He's a star. You got what you wanted. You wanted the Josh Allen archetype. You wanted it. What does Josh Allen do? He goes out there and do what he do. He makes plays. You want to know why this kid is not going to be getting hit and stuff like he was last season? Because the coach has changed. When you're running Jaxson Dart as much as your running backs, that's going to happen. When you have to run around like a chicken with your head cut off because the system around him is ass, and Wan'Dale Robinson is his top target, and he's trying to throw those layered throws that he loves to do to Wan'Dale Robinson, and it's not going to work. He's going to run and make a play. He's a playmaker. That's what you wanted. So why are you trying to put this narrative on this kid like he missed 20 games last year? He got hurt because of what was going on out there on the field. And this is one of the cases where he did actually make the offensive line look a lot better than what they were. He actually did do that. In certain cases, that can't happen with quarterbacks like how he's built. He's a tough son of a gun. He's bulked up, not in weight, but in mass and muscle mass. And when you look at what they did with Lamar Jackson, they did not run Lamar Jackson into the teeth of the defense constantly. They allowed him to use his ability when he had to use his ability. Now, does he need to be a little bit smarter? Yes, I'm not going to take full accountability away from Jaxson Dart. That's not what we do here on Giants Convo. We hold people accountable when they need to be held accountable. And yes, he does need to get down and take less hits. That's a fact. But when you're playing on a team where you're Mr. Everything and you know it, if you don't make that play, we ain't going to get shit done. Of course, a guy like him is going to go out there and run into a linebacker or try to run over a DB or try to stiff arm a DB with his throwing hand like he did against the Chargers. We was like, come on, bro, don't do that. But I think it would be a lot easier on him, and he will be under center more, handing that ball off to a running back a lot more this year. I don't expect him to have over 100 carries this year. I don't. So when he's just making those plays because he's a playmaker, that's where he should be held accountable when he gets into that open field, when he makes that play. Get down and save yourself, because now we have people around you that can get things done. It's not just me and little Jordan Humphrey. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So this fan base and these talking heads, bro, that's why I love this show was created right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network. Let's have some conversations. You dudes hinder these players. You talk noise about them. You put narratives on them. And believe it or not, you're one of the main reasons why Dex is out of here. Let's keep it a buck. You're one of the main reasons why Love is out of here. Barkley is out of here. Xavier McKinney is out of here. You're one of the main reasons why. Stop putting narratives, and then you put narratives on the youngest kids on the team. These dudes are trying to find themselves. You think that kid wanted to be out 2 games last year? No, he was never heard at Ole Miss like that. He was taking hits. Let him do what he do. He was just with a coach that was just throwing him out there. And you know it's true because the dude ran into the blue tent to try to rush him out the blue tent. That's why he was fired, because he was getting Jaxson Dart messed up. Think about that. He was fired because Jaxson Dart was getting tortured out there. But that was the only thing he had, because he finally got his guy, and his guy, he was running him into the dirt. But y'all go ahead, man. Keep putting narratives on this kid. And Jaxson Dart will be the next one that's out of here.
Well, yeah, it's a good transition because that's where we're going next. The narratives that the Giants and fans and Twitter continues to put on some of these players and some of the things that they say, do, or don't do is crazy. So if you guys haven't heard, there was a situation on Twitter with Jaxson Dart. Now, let me go full screen here for just a minute, because I do want to make this clear. I do not support politics. Again,
Right.
I do not support politics. I'm not on one side of this shit or the other. I think it's all fucked up. That's my personal position. So when I speak, do not come in this chat room or on any of my social media pages saying anything that, oh, you're this way or that way. No, I don't care about none of this shit. They all fucking us over. So just wanted to make that clear before I say what I'm going to say. All right, so Jaxson Dart posted Jaxson Dart posted a thing with him at a Donald Trump rally, introducing Donald Trump as the president. There were some people bothered by that, and there are obviously people that support Trump and what he's doing. So you can imagine the level of hostility that was going to be spewed at Jaxson Dart just off that. Well, Abdul Carter kind of made it worse and posted, like, what are we doing here? I thought this was AI. Basically saying, it's really all he said. You could take it for however you want to take it. Me and Pat talk to each other in similar fashions. Like, yo, bro, what you doing? Like, and it ain't nothing like, yo, F you, how dare you? It is not at that level of, and when I seen that, that's immediately what I thought. I was like, he probably just like, oh, come on, bro. Like, nah, my G, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of energy. Not, oh, it's a fraction in the locker room, because that's what the media took it at. Took it as a fraction in the locker room. There's a lot of people that don't like Abdul Carter now. There's a lot of people that don't like Jaxson Dart now. But this is the only way I responded to that. And I'm going to go full screen again, and I'm going to pass to you, Pat. Again, I told you, I'm not in this one way or the other. But if you're mad at Jaxson Dart for who he supports, or Abdul Carter for what he supports and his coach and what he stands for, how can you honestly sit up here and go full hardcore day in, day out with pure love and passion for the New York Giants when the owner was in those fouls that we know which fouls we're talking about? And that was my only response to that. How can you attack these kids, but then lay off on these billionaires that's taking your bread, that's doing things to your children, how can y'all let them go scot-free and then you attack these kids because of how they was raised to be? So again, man, I think this is nothing. I think the locker room is fine. Abdul Carter said so. Jermaine Illuminor said so. Shout out to them for getting on that, clearing it up quickly. But the shame of you motherfuckers, bro, to sit up here and say I hate Abdul Carter or I hate Jaxson Dart, but still go up there and buy tickets to the New York Giants, whose owner is a you-know-what foul. We can't say but so much. But that's all I got, Pat. What you got, man?
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy in this fan base because John Harbaugh was with Trump too. So what are we getting at here? You wanted a superstar. Well, guess what? You're getting that. This kid is what, 22, 23 years old? And you get a chance to introduce the president? Why would you go up there and introduce the president? That's what this was about, making him the face of New York. That's what all this was about. All the publicity that you wanted your quarterback to have, he's getting it. He's getting it. But just because he doesn't align with your political views, and like my man NYG said, I don't give a damn about either side. I'm not with politics. And the only reason why I'm talking about this subject, because these are kids that you're attacking. Yes, they're making millions of dollars and they're playing a game and they're super athletes, but they're still kids, 23 to 24 years old. They're finding their way. You wanted the superstar quarterback. That's what you want, and that's what you're getting. Like, what does this fan base want? You cry, complain, bitch, whine, everything. I ain't want my superstar quarterback. We need the guy. You got him. The president of the United States wanted him to introduce him in New Jersey, New York. Well, New York, because they canceled the New Jersey thing. But in New York, your quarterback, your superstar was able to introduce the president. Doesn't that say that he has some pull out there now? You wanted the swag, right? So what are you complaining about? So now he's public enemy number one because he introduced the president of the United States. What young man trying to find his way will not say, yo, I don't want to introduce the president? Why? Why? This left side, right side, it's just a bunch of people that just want to feel, I don't know, man. These people are just straight clout chasers, bro. And I can't stand them. You're a clout chaser. You want people to look at you. Oh, I can't stand Jaxson Dart, or I can't stand Abdul Carter. Man, let them men talk to each other, which they did, because Abdul Carter reported it. We had a conversation, and me and JD6 are cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about if it's a good or a bad idea. It's a kid. He gets to introduce the president. It's not about a good idea or a bad idea. You know why it turns into a bad idea? Because you dudes have bad intentions and you love mess.
Yeah, nobody says anything like you said when Travis Kelce does things and all these other guys do things. It's only when a New York Giants player does it that it's a big deal. Doesn't that alarm you, fans, so-called fans? If you fans and you love the team, isn't it alarming that everything that a New York Giants player does is posted and blasted in the media? Like, salute to you, Jay, and salute to the chat. I appreciate all y'all's
Mosley.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody in the chat commenting, man. Look, man, like you said, bro, everybody is on a side that they want to be on, and it should bother you, because are we gonna go down the list of the football team and ask every single player who you support, who'd you vote for, who'd you support, who'd you vote for? Because then y'all ain't gonna like damn near 60% of the team. I promise you.
Right.
You know. So again, that's why it's not about what. And again, Jaxson Dart is a quarterback. He's gonna be a polarizing figure. You know, he was drafted in the first round. He quarterbacks the team that's in the major media market of the world, and he's going to take bullets. You know, so again, whether he thought it was a good idea or not, you can't put these guys in a shell, you know, because I have opinions that people don't like. Everybody does.
Unpopular opinion.
You know, Pat, you have opinions people don't like. You know, people in the chat, they got opinions people don't like. But it don't make you a terrible human being, and it damn sure don't make you a bad football player or a bad teammate, you know, because it's just like when this whole thing, not to stick on the politics thing too much, but it was just like when this whole thing came out, you know, and you have people disowning their families.
Fact.
Because they voted for somebody. Like, y'all gotta chill with that, man. People are people, man. They're humans. Whatever they was, and a lot of times this is how he was raised. Mosley put in the chat. He's a kid from Utah.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? What environment did you grow up in that influenced you to be the man that you are today?
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? It's all about different perspectives.
So
now, Jaxson Dart came out and said some of the things that, with you know who says Trump, then that's something to talk about. But all he did was introduce the man. Big fucking deal.
And guess what? Just to say it is common sense to know that either way that Roach Dave, either way, get a reaction.
Like
right. So let's just say he said he refused to introduce Trump. That would have been huge news. You see what I'm saying? And so now, if he refuses to introduce the president, maybe that affects him even more.
Because guess what? You got a president on your ass, right? Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Cool. Make sure the Giants get fucked in the playoffs.
Man, what?
They might win because he introduced this motherfucker. Who knows?
Right. Who knows? Maybe you should start thinking, man, damn, do we involved with the president now? Our quarterback's involved with the president?
That Jaxson Dart might have just plugged y'all in to a playoff spot.
Facts. The only real problem that there was, what's up, Alfred, was Abdul Carter should have kept that first tweet to himself. He should have went to Jaxson Dart himself and had that conversation before that tweet came out. But this is the era that we live in. We live in a social media era, and everything has to be put on blast. Everything has to be put on blast.
And I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that. Everybody say that, but you know, right now, I can call certain people in my family and not get an answer. I haven't heard from certain people and not get an answer. But if you text them on social media, they'll respond immediately.
Immediately.
That's some real shit. This is a Giants conversation, but I'm about real shit. Real shit. It ain't just that easy. Now, on a football team, I know what y'all saying. Yeah, they corroborate. But you got to understand, like Pat said, it's not about that. It's the era of how they communicate. Yep. Nobody talks on the phone no more. We not in the 90s, y'all. Everybody's on social media. We're on social media right now. So everybody's on social media communicating. This is how people communicate. So if he had a problem with it, yeah, his first reaction is going to be to go to social media and text it out. Because what? Like you said, he's a kid.
This
And
is the first thing everybody
that's
goes
the
to.
first thing he gonna do. He's a kid and he's just gonna react. Now it's up to John Harbaugh and the coaches in that locker room to be like, okay, because you know what this is? This is Brian Dable type culture.
Yep.
And that's what you're seeing, a spillover from the culture that Brian Dable built.
Yep.
And
so John Harbaugh's gonna have to get that, reel that in real quick.
We gonna have to line it all up. So yeah, I do agree with some of it. Like, yeah, there's ways to handle that. But I'm not outraged by this like some of y'all. I'm not. It's a nothing burger to me. This ain't nothing.
And shout out to light-skinned Jermaine for being the grown man in the room. Shout out to him. Hopefully somebody got those two guys to talk and they talked it out, and it's like, man, yo, I did. He probably did it for the team, if you believe it or not, because you're making him this leader, Jaxson Dart. You're making him this leader. So he's like, okay, I got an opportunity to go out here and do this and be a leader for my team and put my team on the map. Maybe that's what he was thinking. Not saying that's what he was thinking, but maybe that is. You got to start thinking about the whole situation, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all this Trumpsters and all that, what's up, Philly Morgan? Who cares, bro? Are these people doing something to you literally? Are these people affecting your life literally? That's what you have to make conversations about. Have a conversation. Giants Convo. Have a conversation before you just go out there and try to destroy somebody. These are kids. And when you're trying to find your way, stop acting like you weren't 20-something years old, however old you are in the chat. And a lot of these are grown-ass men doing this. Grown men. 40s, 50s. Acting like you ain't never been 21, 22 years old trying to find your way in on this plane that we call Earth. I'm a leader of the New York Giants. I'm the franchise quarterback. Everybody's talking about me all the time. So everything that I do is on blast. Imagine being in a situation like that where everything that you do is on blast. I can't make a mistake.
Yeah. All right.
But
let's go to something else that's gonna piss y'all off. Oh, make y'all mad today, boy. So Joe Schoen has been extended. And let's hear from where is he at? Paul Shorts of the Post about what took place here. This is like a couple minutes, so I'm gonna let this one play, let y'all take a little breather, and then we'll get back into this.
Big news out of the Giants Thursday night. Joe Schoen receiving a multi-year contract extension. You know, anyone who saw Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh talk after the first round of the NFL draft a few weeks ago, when both were thrilled that the Giants got Arvell Reese and CeCe Maui Noah, you could just see John Harbaugh gushing about the job that Joe Schoen did. He said he thought he did a great job. He thought Joe Schoen's scouts did a great job. You know, don't forget, Joe Schoen was able to get a first-round pick, number 10 overall, for disgruntled Dexter Lawrence. John Harbaugh was thrilled at that. So, you know, you could just see that this relationship was really budding and growing. And so Joe Schoen gets a contract extension, multi-years. He was going into the last year of a 5-year contract. And it was really not tenable for a GM to go into the last year of his contract. Sometimes teams do that. Most often they do not, because it's just not good for business to have a guy in his lame duck season. So the Giants rectified that. And look, clearly this has John Harbaugh's stamp of approval on it. When the Giants hired John Harbaugh, he really did not know Joe Schoen at all, even though the two of them spent basically the past 2 decades in the NFL. They had not worked together. They really didn't know each other. And John Harbaugh was hired, and the relationship started growing and growing and growing, and it got really, really strong. You could just tell when the two were together. John Harbaugh, unsolicited, would give great praise to Joe Schoen, and now it is official. Joe Schoen gets a contract extension. The Giants have had some rough years, some lean years, and let's leave with this, that John Harbaugh probably would not have come to the Giants if not for Jaxson Dart. John Harbaugh was not going to go to a team without a quarterback he felt he could win with. How did the Giants get Jaxson Dart? Joe Schoen boldly last year traded up into the first round of the NFL draft to get Jaxson Dart. So Schoen got Dart, and Dart helped Schoen get Harbaugh.
All right, man. So you heard there from Paul Schwartz, and he talked about Jaxson Dart and how Joe Schoen traded up to get Jaxson Dart, you know, and with this trade, with this extension here, I think they're reporting it. I don't know what the length of the extension is. They don't release these GM contract details, but there's reports of a 5-year extension or something like that. I don't know. But he talked about what's more important. He talked about the relationship that Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh had, and Joe Schoen's recruitment of John Harbaugh. And again, y'all don't gotta like Joe Schoen, but Joe Schoen don't play football on Sundays, and Joe Schoen don't coach the New York Giants. He's the general manager. The general manager is responsible for buying the groceries. He got your quarterback. You know, people say, "Oh, Brian Dable picked out Jaxson Dart." Well, Joe Schoen, the one, like Paul said, made the move to trade up to go get him. So you got to put that on the GM.
Said, I can't make a trade to get him. He could have.
We don't have the resources. Yeah. While y'all was fussing about the 3rd round pick, we didn't have this year. We didn't have the resource. He could have knocked it down. He tried to go get y'all Drake May, who was just in the Super Bowl. So again, it's the GM works with the coach. Coach, this is what I need. All right, let me see what I could do. How can I, let me get a list of players together and see how we can go get the talent that you need to perform. Y'all talk about Jalen Hyatt. Y'all think about that Jalen Hyatt trade. And the reason I say that is because remember what John Harbaugh said in the clip that we played the other couple weeks ago, when he said he was like, yeah, we can go up and get Fields, right? So John Harbaugh wanted Malachi Fields. I'm pretty sure Joe Schoen and Brian Dable had a similar conversation about Jalen Hyatt. So if you want to put Jaxson Dart on Brian Dable, put all the back-end players on Brian Dable. You know what I'm saying? Or you put them on a GM and say what I say. GMs have hits and misses. Joe Schoen missed his first couple drafts, and I'm not excusing him, but you can also put that on the fact that a first-time general manager trying to learn the job, learning on the job with nobody to really teach him nothing. Now that he's got the experience and has built relationships, why do you think the Giants get these good deals on these trades? Joe Schoen has built these relationships in these front office. I've seen him personally at the Senior Bowl on the sideline talking to different GMs and coaches.
Facts.
So again, I know what kind of work Joe Schoen is putting in to build this Giants team. The coaches have got to go out there and perform on the field. You can't have all these first-round picks and mean to tell me they all trash. No fucking way in hell. All these top 10 picks is garbage. The Giants have one damn near every year. Why? Because they haven't been good. Why haven't they been good? Think about who Joe Schoen took over for. Dave Gettleman. Okay. What did Dave Gettleman have? The records were during his tenure. I think it was like 25% or something. So you can't put a record on a GM. And I'm going to talk about somebody else that y'all probably ain't going to like here in a little while in Lil Known Giants. Just a teaser. But I've been one of the few people out there saying that I don't think this disaster has been on Joe Schoen. I actually think he's done a solid job. And again, I was proven right again, not to toot my own horn, but
shit, I will too.
He's here. They signed him. So they agreed with what I've been saying. It's not his fault. It's been on the coaching. Coaching. Why do you think everybody's so happy now? Not because we changed general managers, because we got a new coach. And last thing before I land the plane, if you wanted Joe Schoen fired, you have to have a valuable replacement for him. Do you really want your coach doing the GM work and the coach work? That don't necessarily work out too well, unless you fucking Bill Belichick.
That's about
the only one I know that did it. So, and he still had a GM that was basically a high-level scout for him. But yeah, man, Joe Schoen gets a contract. No Giants fans don't like it, but I like it because it keeps stability in the organization, and you know he can continue to build with what he already started. And you don't have a GM coming in here that's gonna want to get rid of your players that you like because they're not his guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to one of my favorite memes, Mr. R. Kelly. That's stupid. Use your common sense. People like Rat Leonard was saying this guy was gonna be fired after the draft.
Yeah, that dude.
Make that make sense.
I can't stand Pat Leonard, yo.
If this dude is incompetent, if this dude is as incompetent as you said, John Harbaugh was looking at Joe Schoen, why in the world would John Harbaugh even come here in the first place if Joe Schoen was still here? Why would he even allow Joe Schoen to be even a part of the draft aspect if he thought he was so incompetent? And why would he be celebrating with him when he got the people that he wanted? You see what I'm saying? Like, this fan base is so trash, bro. Anything wrong is Joe Schoen's fault. Anything good is the coach's.
That's crazy.
So Joe Schoen had nothing to do with Jaxson Dart, even though he made the trade to come up to get him. Even though let's just say he didn't want Jaxson Dart, but he still did his damn job and got the quarterback the coach wanted. He made those calls to get that trade to happen, and then people were shitting on him about trading for Brian Burns, who was a deep NFL Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
Then you want to shit on him about the Dexter Lawrence trade, but he got a number 10 pick when people were saying Dexter Lawrence wasn't even worth a second. A man with half a sack, he got the number 10 pick and got you an offensive guard that we needed. You like Alvaro Reese? That has nothing to do with Joe Schoen. You like Malachi Fields, even though he made the trade to come up to get Malachi Fields? That has nothing to do with Joe Schoen. That's all John Harbaugh. That's how I know these people that be talking don't know no nuance of what the football world means, bro. None of those trades or anything happens without Joe Schoen doing his job. The worst thing I say Joe Schoen has done as the GM of the New York Giants is not hiring the right coach in the very beginning. But if this is my first time as a GM, you don't think he's going to bring over somebody that he's comfortable working with? This is my first time. I want to bring somebody that I know that I'm comfortable working with. And that was Brian Daboll. And it turned out that it didn't work out. He was one of the guys that actually fired Brian Daboll because he was hurting the quarterback that I traded up to get you, and you're messing him up. You got to go.
You got another one to mess up. Poor Cam Ward.
Man, I hope they do right by him, but I don't see it. But and good for you dudes that's been hating on Joe Schoen for the past 2 to 3 years. Just fire him. No, develop. Get you a coach in here that can develop, and he was part of that process. John Harbaugh even said it. He was one of the reasons why he came over to work with Joe Schoen.
Yep.
But no, John Harbaugh just lying. John Harbaugh has carte blanche, but he's still here. John Harbaugh thinks he's an incompetent buffoon and has carte blanche, but Joe Schoen now gets an extension. So now where are you going to go with it? Sad, man, and good for Pat Leonard. I can't stand that dude. You just eat crow, and he can't even be a real man and admit that he was wrong. He's still trying to double down on it.
Yeah, he's put here to divide the Giants fan base and try to divide the Giants locker room.
Yep.
Jermaine
let him do
Umno
it.
has been calling him out. You know what I'm saying? I've called him out, even though I don't hold no weight in that organization. But I just think it's garbage, bro. Because the Giants have done a lot wrong. So have a lot of other franchises. We follow the NFL. Me and Pat, we're Giants fans, but we cover the entire NFL from draft to the Super Bowl. So it's just one of those things where a lot of teams got shit wrong with them, but to sit up there and say everything the Giants do is a problem, you got a problem with it, or some type of underlining hidden, and I'm a big ass conspiracy theorist, as they say, but I got enough discernment to say not everything is what you see or what you hear, but Pat Leonard, guys like that, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're just going to feed you what's going to get clicks and spread throughout the media so they can look like they somebody that knows what they're talking about when they don't. That's why I listen to real people that cover the Giants, like Patricia Traynor and P. Dot and Smell and those characters, man. But because some of these guys are just, and Paul does a good job too, but some of them cats are just looking for clicks and views and trying to get shit stirred up because they ain't got shit better to do. So, all right, we covered that. Yeah, we got through all that. So let's go to Little Known Giants. And for this segment, I told you I'm gonna make y'all mad today. Well, some of y'all. I'm gonna talk about another general manager. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Jerry Reese. The reason I'm bringing up Jerry Reese, you might say, well, why in the hell are you bringing up Jerry Reese? Let's go with this one. So, Jerry Reese is being talked about as being inducted in the Giants Ring of Honor. There is a large section of Giants fans that do not like this man and do not believe he had anything to do with those 2 Super Bowls that you see up there on the screen. And again, you see the stats up there, general manager for 11 years, the 8-2 postseason record, 88-72 regular season record, 2 NFC titles, 4 playoff berths, 7 seasons of 500 or better. Now, y'all the one want to put records and shit on general managers. That's the only reason I'm bringing the record up. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. You know what I mean? So, again, I'm not putting a record on Jerry Reese. I'm putting a record on the coach, Tom Coughlin. But I'm saying, though, that Jerry Reese definitely had a lot to do with that. Does he belong in the Ring of Honor? You got 2 Super Bowls now. Corsi, George Young, they're in the Ring of Honor. Reese's record is better than those. There's the record up there. For 4 years, Gettleman had a 292 or 0.292. Joe Schoen 0.329. Those are their records. Look, Jerry Reese, he did have that 2007 draft that contributed to a lot of the Giants winning that Super Bowl. Now, I personally think Jerry Reese needs more credit for what he did in the Giants organization. Yeah, it did not end well. The whole Eli Manning fiasco and all that crap. Ben McAdoo, all that stuff. We all know how it went down. But, and remember, they got back to the playoffs in 2016 too. Should have did something that year. Wasn't for goofies, you know what I'm saying? Doing goofy shit. Young players, again, we talk about young players all the time, right? But who was the coach? A young, inexperienced coach that did not know no better. That's why Beckham and them did what the fuck they did. Bet he won't do it with Harbaugh here. That's why. See the difference? But is that on Jerry Reese, though? No. He brought the guys in here, got the coach, got you there. A lot of people don't talk about Jerry Reese, Aboriginal brother, you know, and people that rag on the Giants about color and politics and race. Why aren't y'all giving this man right here, a brother, more credit for what he did in this so-called racist organization? Remember, y'all saying that, not me. So that's why I'm bringing up Jerry Reese right here on Little Known Giants. He should be well known, since y'all love to talk about general managers and trash them when they fuck up. Why don't this man get credit for winning 2 Super Bowls? No, you're not giving that to Ernie Accorsi. He was not the general manager. I don't care whose roster this man had. He brought his own players in as well. And yeah, they won another Super Bowl with his guys. So why isn't he getting more credit? Why are y'all giving his credit to another man? Jerry Reese deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. That might be an unpopular opinion, but that's who the fuck I am. I'm going to speak up for people like this, and this man has been basically shunned to the side. Like, fuck that, bro. Y'all talk all this shit about all this other crap, bro, but y'all won't get his brother right here his fucking credit. Jerry Reese deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. You can have your opinions about it. I respect everybody's opinion, whether you agree or disagree. That's why I created this channel. But my unpopular opinion is I think he belongs there. What you got?
Yeah, this segment should have been on a segment that we created, that we could create as well-known Giants. He should be well-known. He shouldn't be a little-known Giant. Like that's bullshit, because he had something to do with that 2007 Super Bowl, and he had everything to do with that 2011 Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? So why Ernie Accorsi, of course he gets so much credit, which he deserves, but this man gets shitted on like he never did anything. So you mean to tell me in a span of 5 years he had nothing to do with either Super Bowl?
So 2007 draft, real quick. This is what I was trying to look up. Aaron Ross, Steve Smith, Jay Alfred, Kevin Boss, Michael Johnson, Ahmad Bradshaw, and Zach Diassi all contributed.
All contributed to that Super Bowl. Every last one.
Every single one of them.
Bradshaw, you love.
Zach Diassi was a long snapper for fucking a decade.
Yeah, 50 years. You see what I'm saying? The DB that we drafted, Aaron Ross, had something to do with that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was one of our top corners that year, I believe.
So let's not act like this man didn't bring over Antonio Pierce that year. You love him. I just think that this fan base is so fickle and so trash that you will let guys like this, and whatever reason it is, I got a very good reason and I know why you do it, but for whatever reason it is, why would you trash this man but get mad if Jaxson Dart introduces Trump? But you can't even support the brothers that actually got you to where you can talk a little bit of shit. Because if it wasn't for those Jerry Reese years, we would only still have 2 Super Bowls. Let's keep it a buck. He allows you to talk the shit that you do because of those two teams that went on to win those Super Bowls. And let's not forget, it wasn't for a Plexico Birds mishap, we might have got back to back because we were rolling through people that year. Oh, and then you say Steve Smith?
Did they build? Yeah, Steve Smith, the wide receiver.
He was an integral part of that first Super Bowl. You remember he made the catch to allow Plexico Birds to go and get that catch against the Patriots. People forget about that play on that crucial third down. We picked up those 11 yards and fought his way to get those 11 yards. After I
agree with you there, Jay. Yeah, can't none of these GMs
what GM have we had that draft good offensive lineman? The best one was Andrew Thomas. Other than that, we have Eric Flowers, Evan Neal. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We don't even have enough time to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, of course, he got you Snead, who was probably our best offensive lineman.
Yeah. So, yeah, this man should be a well-known Giant. And he had 7 years out of 11 years of 500 or better football. We haven't had that consistency since he's left. We've been 3-14 consistently since he's left. Not your last playoff appearance, but your last time where you thought you could make some noise in the playoffs, he was the GM. So y'all need to give this brother some credit, and I'm be clapping like a mug when he's in the Ring of Honor because he should be.
Oh yeah,
he should be. I don't know what you dudes talking about. He had nothing to do with those Super Bowls. That's a lie, a straight up lie. But you got it in YG, man. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it is, man, because there's a lot of hypocrisy going on in this fan base, man, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. That's why I give y'all segments like this. You know, you're not getting this nowhere else. Ain't nobody gonna talk about it. They're gonna try to bury this man for some headline bullshit that don't mean nothing with the team, like Dart and Abdul Carter. You know, we're gonna dismiss that quickly. Y'all clap it up for Jerry Reese one more time. Let's hope he gets in there, man, and celebrate one of your best GMs in history. You know, one of your best GMs in history that got you all the fond memories, or help you get all the fond memories that you have of those two Super Bowls. All right, man. We're gonna get into inside the NFC East. Let's poke around the division, man, and see what these other teams talking about, man. And then we're gonna wrap it up with On the Money Out of Pocket, man. Some out of pocket shit going on out here.
Right.
All right. Inside the NFC East. Let's go ahead and hit that one, brother.
Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, Eagles. Welcome to Inside the NFC East.
All right, man. We're going to get into Inside the NFC East, and this ain't going to be long because there's not a lot of news. Just going to touch on a few things. So we're going to start here with the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, that wasn't the one I was looking for, but I'll just keep that up there for now. But Cowboys, they still looking for answers behind Javonte Williams. And they could be looking at a guy like James Conner. So you got a report here. Cowboys running back answers could not be more obvious. Just reading a little bit of the article that's by the Landry hat, Marcus Mosher. They apparently could trade for James Conner. Right here is the headline. Cowboys could trade for James Conner before week 1. You remember the Cardinals drafted Jeremiah Love. They signed Tyler Algier. So Connor could be the odd man out. Cowboys, again, remember me telling you guys that behind Javonte Williams, they just got Jalen Blue, and they have questions about him. So Cowboys could trade for James Conner, man. What do you think about that, Pat?
I think that would be a pretty good get for them because he's a running back that actually, he's an all-around running back. They need a receiving running back out the backfield. He's a hard runner. The only thing with James Conner that holds him back is injuries. Because when he's healthy, he's a doggone good back. He was good with the Steelers and he was good with the Cardinals. Like James Conner, the Terminator, man. Definitely don't want to see him come over to this division if he's healthy because he can change some things for them, man. He can definitely be that change of pace back for them, and heck, he can take over the number one back if he needed him to if he's healthy. So we'll see. But yeah, James Conner could be a definitely good get for the Cowboys, man.
Definitely, man. I like you said, as a Giants fan, I don't want to see that, but they're gonna need to really take that running game serious this year, man. You can't have Dak and them trying to go back there and just think you're going to throw.
Not with our defense.
Not with the Eagles defense, and not. We're going to talk about their defense here in a little bit, man. With Washington, maybe, but them other two defenses, they're going to have an issue, so they're going to have to boost up that running game, because all this focus on Pickens and Dak and all this, you better be worried about who's behind Javonte Williams and whether that offensive line can truly, hold up, man, as far as running the football is concerned. So, questions about the Cowboys running back situation. And there's questions about the Commanders' offensive line. And this is scary for them. So it says OTAs could really reveal the first shape of Jaden Daniels' protection. This is Rigo's Rag, these websites for some of these other teams. If you guys are fans of those teams, powered by fan side, I guess. But Ryan McCaffrey. So basically, them releasing Tyler Battis and not getting Tyler Linderbaum has stuck the Commanders with Nick Allegretti as their projected starter and 6th-round rookie Matt Glublin as his backup. So that's at the center position. So they're not sold on Allegretti. And so the Commanders are looking to possibly start a 6th-round rookie from Michigan State at center. That's what this article is talking about. So y'all can go read this, but what's your thoughts about this, Pat, man? Questions with protection of Jaden Daniels.
That's crazy. We're not the only team in the NFC East that have questions at center. And their questions at center might even be more than ours with John Michael Smith. I think John Michael Smith is going to make a he's going to turn around, but we're talking about the Commanders. Yeah, they got to protect their franchise, and they haven't done a very good job of protecting them because last year, man, he had his whole elbow twisted. So what are you going to do to protect your franchise? He can only run around for so much, and these defenses over in the NFC East, they're getting faster, bigger, and stronger. And you got a couple of guys that can actually chase him down, believe it or not. So, Washington got a couple of questions on their hands, man. This is why we do inside the NFC East. We want to give you intel on these other teams, and if their center position is not looking good, DJ Reader.
So, right. That's why we do it too, Jay. Shout out to you. So y'all can go and talk y'all shit. They ain't got nothing on us this year, man. I picked the perfect year to start this segment, yo. Yeah, I can go talk your shit because we're going to have all the intel on all they little corny ass teams and what they doing. But anyway, I'm trolling a little bit, but this is a problem for them. They are. I've been telling y'all this. They coming up the rear this year. Pause.
Yeah, right. And what about the weapons on the outside? So you don't even have the weapons on the outside to contradict your offensive line. Maybe a little bit weaker. Yes, they have their left tackle.
It does not look like Diggs is going there. This is the intel that I'm getting. I can pull up these articles. I was looking through it earlier, but it does not look like Diggs is going there. And there's also questions about Ayuk. Remember, they're the favorite to get Brandon Ayuk, but I'm hearing the Giants might be in on it, yo. So that's crazy work, bro. But anyway, yeah, they're gonna have some issues at wide receiver and on the offensive line. So they're gonna ask Jaden Daniels to be doing a lot this year.
Yeah,
a lot. All right. To the Eagles. Philly news kind of slow, but I did pull this up, and I want to get your thoughts on this because this is more of a football question. More of a football conversation here. So Cooper DeJean is moving. He's moving to safety. So they're gonna in their base defense. It says this what it looks like currently, and they got the numbers there. So DeJean there 33, so he's gonna be playing right here at the safety spot. So that's their lineup right there. You got Davis, Carter, Ojomo, and then of course you got the edge rushers, and Hunt, and what's the other guy? Grinyard. So, what do you think about this Philly defense right here? This is what they're looking at, Pat. So you get a good look at their defense right here. I can probably make it a little bigger for you. Pause. But that's it right there. And so what's your thoughts on that? Because like I said, that's more your thing right there. And is that something that a team can exploit? Or let's take it from the Philly angle. We're doing inside the NFC East. Is that a move that you would do, putting DeJean back there at safety?
Yeah, in their base package, yeah, that's their base 3-4 package. So yeah, you put Cooper DeJean at the safety position and let him roam around the field, which he does very well. So this is not, I don't think this is a permanent move to safety. I just think they're doing this in the base package because they don't trust the other safety there. And when you're in your base, you keep Cooper DeJean on the field. That's all this is about, because when they go into their nickel and their dime, he's going to slide right back down to slot corner. So this is just a way to keep your best playmakers on the field at all times. Now you don't have to take him out the game in base packages. You see what I'm saying? So it's actually a really smart move for them, because now you got a guy that can roam the field and make plays. Makuba can roam the field and make plays. You got Rick Woolen, 6'4", can run like the wind. Quinyon Mitchell, 6'2", can run and be physical. What they have to worry about is Jahai Campbell and can Zach Bond get back to form? And
the linebackers. So you got questions about the line. That's what I was going to ask you. Is there any questions on this defense?
I got questions about the edge rushers too, and Hunt and Greener, because the Vikings traded Greener for a reason. You see what I'm saying? So can they get pressure, and can those linebackers continue to roam around that field and make plays like they were doing when they had Nakobe Dean and the other guy? Because Jahai Campbell has not lived up to the vaulty expectations that was given to him when he was drafted. And what about the guy from Georgia at the other edge? Nolan Carter. I think that's his name. Nolan Carter. He's been arrested. So we're gonna see, man. But the whole Cooper DeJean, he's not a permanent safety. He's just a safety that they put in the base package. He's gonna slide right back down the slot corner when they go to dime and nickel. Now, the other safety opposite of Makuba, when you put him in those nickel packages and everything, what is he going to be about? That's what they should be worried about.
Yeah. So, NFC East question. Shout out to you, Alfred. In the essence of never underestimating your opponent, what's the best each NFC East opponent could throw at us? I'll answer that by saying this. Looking at Philly particularly, it's going to be based on their run game now, more so. If you do not believe, so they're going to be a team leaning on the run and basically trying to stop the run and get teams off the field. They're going to be leaning on defense a lot. That's why I bought this kind of defensive scheme up here. So I think Philly can keep the game close with their defense. It's going to be about whether Jalen Hurts can make those plays in the middle of the field or not with some of the new receivers that they got, particularly Mekhi Lemon, who is a slot guy, and Devontae Smith, who is going to be transitioning to a number one. The intel that I'm getting, that A.J. Brown trade is still on, and it is expected to take place after June 1st. So they're going to be losing A.J. Brown by all accounts, and that's going to be the main thing right there. Philly's going to really be leaning on their run game this year. That's what they got. Cowboys, they're kind of the opposite. We already questioned their running game, but those two pass catches they got and Dak Prescott, you know what I'm saying, until Jaxson Dart shows what he can do in a full season, is the best quarterback in this division. Hate to say it, but it's true. So they got that going on for them. They still got some questions on that in that secondary. Don't get it twisted, even with Caleb Downs and on that defense. So I do think the Cowboys are going to be heavily relying on their offense to outscore teams in more games than not. Washington, all they got is Jaden Daniels, dog. That's it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I ain't even holding you. I'm not scared of anything else over there. Jaden Daniels, and because they're coaches, I don't like the coaching staff. I don't like the defense at all, other than Sonny Styles. And they don't really have – they ain't got much. I'm just going to say that. They ain't got much. And they got a tough-ass schedule. Their schedule
is ruthless.
So it's going to be tough for those cats, man. But that's all I got for inside the NFC East. Let's wrap this up with a little on the money or out of pocket. I got a couple of little things we could talk about here. So let's go ahead and get to that. Right here.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
All right, man. On the money or out of pocket, brought to you by the Aboriginal Sports Network and brought to you by New York Knicks fans. So that's where we're starting at right here. New York Knicks fans. Let's see, where is all right, there we go. There you go. All right, New York Knicks fans here. So Cavs getting beat down on the court. You don't know if you ain't been up on your basketball. The Cavs down 3-0. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I am enjoying this series. I'm a big basketball fan and, of course, a native New Yorker. So, yeah, remember those where you would get into it on the court and be like, yo, after the court can be after the game is gonna be a team fight, right? Is it on the money or out of pocket for Knicks to be beating the Cavs ass on the court and off the court, man? Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's not even funny.
All right, man. New York Knicks fans beating the Cavs down on and off the court, man. On the money, out of pocket, man, for them to take the beef to the streets.
Man, they out of pocket, man. But, man, that's why you gotta look up the definition of fanatic. Man, them people out there going crazy. Yeah, and I do believe New York. Ooh, y'all make it to the chip. Oh my goodness. Y'all gonna make it to the chip, but if y'all win that mud, ooh, that's what 40, 50 years of pent-up frustration of not getting the chip.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in New York that night, not a Knicks fan, because they gonna go and stomp you out. Whatever happens in New York better get prepared to get some things fixed after they win that chip, man. And that parade is gonna be outstanding. That parade is gonna be outstanding if y'all can find some way to beat the Thunder.
Yeah. If I can find a way up there, I'm going.
Right.
I already talked to my brother about that. This is like a 20-year in the making promise we made to each other. But yeah, bro. Definitely, man. I got something for the Nets too. Yeah, stay tuned, Mosley, because we ain't done yet, bro. All right, let's get to this. Jaxson Smith-Njigba got an award, but he got the wrong one. He got Defensive Player of the Year. And they didn't even put the space between the and year. Man, the disrespect for Jaxson Smith-Njigba. Is it on the money or out of pocket, man? Look at this right here, man. Come on, bro.
Out of pocket, bro.
Man,
that man had one of the best years at receiver that you could have.
Yeah,
you give him the Defensive Player of the Year trophy.
Way out of pocket.
Like, come on, man. You can't even mail the right trophy to somebody? Good God, man. What are y'all doing, man? Millions and billions of dollars. And you can't get the right award to the right person. So I guess the Defensive Player of the Year got the Offensive Player of the Year award.
Man, something like that. Something like that, bro. I don't even know. Like that's crazy work. That's crazy work. All right, man. Speaking of the Nets, look who was at the game. Day'Ron Sharpe, Brooklyn Nets center, posted. Look at his seats. I guess you couldn't. Guess you ain't got the contract to afford them good Madison Square Garden seats, brother, huh? But Day'Ron Sharpe there at Madison Square Garden taking in the Knicks game. This happens a lot in sports. So I'm not gonna make too big a deal about particularly Day'Ron Sharpe doing it, even though you should be working on your game in the gym and not watching the Knicks. But yeah. What do you make about players going watching other teams, rival teams, and off-season activity? Like, how you feel about that personally, as a sports lifer here, Pat?
Man, I ain't gonna say out of pocket, but me personally, I'm trying to work on my game, so the Eastern Conference Finals is in my stadium. You see what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, you're right, Albert. Most of them are fans, but me personally, I'm trying to get it to where I'm playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. Me personally, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him going to enjoy himself. They're all in New York, so why not go? But me personally, if I had the skill set, if I was 6'8", with, I could play ball like that and make good money, I want to go and win a chip. So I'm working on my game. I'm trying to call people like Melo or somebody and try to work out with them, because Melo is out there in that area. So I will be working on my game, because with Sharpe, you never know. With the Nets, you might not even be in net. Who knows?
Exactly. That's why this shit is out of pocket.
Out of pocket for that shit.
We need to be worried about getting the contract, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Coach said it probably took a baddie looking to close the deal for the night.
Yeah.
All right, man. Moving on. So, Only and Dave posted apparently of someone wanting to go swimming, but they on papers.
Oh, man.
She comes up with a creative way. Let me mute this so it don't copyright us. But yeah, so she's there with the ankle monitor. I'm assuming that's what that is. Trying not to get it wet so she could take a dip in the pool.
Oh, wow.
What do you think about that? On the money or out of pocket? Taking your ankle monitor for a swim.
Shoot, out of pocket. She should be trying to stay out of jail. Man, that is absolutely insane.
That's
way out of pocket. What do you gain from this? What do you gain from this?
She gonna gain more time on her goddamn sentence. Right. That's what she gonna gain.
And anybody trying to holler at her, just look at her ankle. That tells you a lot about what's going on with her. So, man, that's way out of pocket, man.
All right. What do y'all think about this one, though? Is this one out of pocket? Giving your fellow plane passengers a proverbial fucking lap dance. Take a look at this one.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. That's what's wrong with the young generation. They always flaunt their shit.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, really?
So, on the money or out of pocket, rubbing your ass to get to the aisle.
First and foremost, that woman is very blessed. That woman is blessed. And my man was on the money when you say ain't nothing wrong with that. That guy was on the money. He out of pocket, but he was on the money. And I definitely am waiting for her to come back to sit in her seat. That woman is extremely blessed. Right, Albert. She can't help it. And she can't help it. What you want her to do?
It said what you want her to do, huh? What you want her to do?
And she's just blessed.
All right. I got one more. Let me see here. So, where is it at? Oh yeah, right here. So Johnny Manziel, Mike Beasley, and Ray J, and they got into this little MMA thing here. So we're gonna take a look at one of the fans going at Beasley and Manziel here. This is pretty graphic. So if you have any children at home right now, I suggest you cover their ears. So let's take a listen here a little bit.
Because Samari about to leave in a fucking wheelchair. That boy Lance Stevenson about to knock you the fuck out. As soon as he knock you out, you go to sleep, blowing your fucking ear.
Shout out to everybody in wheelchairs.
Why are you so aggressive?
I don't fuck with you.
You don't gotta fuck with me.
I looked up your highlights last night. I couldn't find shit. Fucking weak ass career.
Stop talking to my homie like that on the dead homie.
You're fucking irrelevant.
Don't play with me, nigga.
You're irrelevant.
That's
Nobody
my
fucking
nigga,
knows
bro.
you.
Don't
Nobody
do that.
knows you.
Nigga, have some motherfucking respect.
You're 50 years old. We gonna take you to the fucking retirement home tomorrow after your fight. Hey, you already got CTE. You ain't even fight tomorrow yet.
Hey, Lance, I'm gonna beat your friend up too.
Yo, come on. What's up? What's up?
Don't ever disrespect Neon in this song, nigga. She wanna hang with the Indians to smash,
Well,
nigga.
Johnny Manziel gets
dork.
Disrespect Neon, nigga. That's just a smash, nigga.
Motherfucker, aren't you? Do it for the clip. We know you need it.
NFL career.
We know you need it.
Weak ass NFL career. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt.
We can step outside right after. I'll beat the fuck out of you for sure. Come on.
I'll join too, you fat fucking little faggot with your fucking little chicken ass fucking
You're
faggot
such a
ass
bitch.
Fuck.
Hey, that's a bad word.
Who told you about that fucking
Hold on.
sweater, fucking punk ass?
Don't use that word. That's the F word. I got a lot of gay friends. Get out of you, nigga.
Fucking shirt out of here, you little fuck.
I slap the fucking daylights out of you, nigga.
So, what do y'all think about the situation there? Man, he said he looked for Mike Beasley's high. He couldn't find that was cold right there. I ain't gonna hold that. Yeah, that oh man. But yeah, what y'all think about that? Or who's out of pocket here? Was it the fan or was it them cats up there, man? I don't know.
That fan way out of pocket. Because first, he ain't looked for Michael Beasley's highlights too hard. Michael Beasley had highlights in the NBA, man. He went through a whole lot in the NBA, and nobody was there to help him. But that fan, bro, any of them dudes up there, he would have went outside. They would have beat the brakes off of him. You could tell that little dude, he was just looking for a clip, man. That's what a lot of people do. Because if you saw Michael Beasley up close and personal outside, you know what time it was.
Yeah, they got paid, Alfred. They got paid for that. They got a little check for that, man. They did the little matches or whatever, man. I was looking at some of the clips earlier.
Ray J got knocked out.
He got knocked out cold.
Michael Beasley got choked out by Lance Stevenson. You know how hood Lance Stevenson is.
Yeah.
You thought it was going to be a boxing match. Lance Stevenson turned into a wrestling match. And actually, Manziel won. He knocked the dude out.
I don't know how much they paid that fan, bro, but yeah. One thing I know about guys like Beasley and Stevenson and all of them, they hood. They not no regular athlete type cats. So yeah, somebody might have got their
Shout out to them for getting the check, bro.
Yeah, shout out to them for getting the check, man. It was
Ray J got the worst of it though.
Pretty entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that's out of pocket, right, JJ? Exactly. The dude right there with the Eagles goddamn jersey is out of pocket, man. So in that regard, we out of pocket. We out of here, man. This segment is done.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
All right, man. That's the show. That's the show today, man. Appreciate everyone tapping in, man. New York Giants conversations. This is my last word here. Calm down on the media shit, y'all. With this fan base, man. Not everything that's posted or said is an issue. Y'all got to show a level of maturity as a fan base. Look, you got a good team. You got the coach you want. You got the quarterback you want. You got a defense. Your NFC East opponents look like you closed the gap there, at least some, from everything we've been telling y'all and covering here. Why are y'all so angry and negative still? And again, this coming from somebody that questions everything. But after you question it, you gotta do your due diligence and say, okay, is this worth it? is this worth a grain of salt, or is this nothing? Can I move on with life and let this go by? And sometimes that's what you got to do. Just move on. Just let it go. It's not worth it to you. The Giants don't pay any of us. And if you're a fan or a supporter, why you want to use all your energy being negative about the team? I try to be as fair as I can. There's shit I don't like. There's shit I'm going to say it ain't worth talking about. And there's shit that I'm saying like, yeah, they doing a good job. I give y'all that consistency. You got to give yourself that consistency and stop flipping out over politics, which is polar tricks, two birds of the same wing. Stop flipping out about what somebody said in the media. And let's just see what the team does on the field, because that's all you can really judge this shit off of. Honestly, I'm not friends with Jaxson Dart or Abdul Carter. I don't know Joe Schoen. I don't get paid by the Giants. I'm in the same position you guys are in. Just a fan, an observer, a watcher of a sport that I love. I'm not letting this shit fuck with my energy and being all outraged and, oh my God, how in the hell that's wild for you to even take it to that level. How does it affect you in your personal life? I would like to know, because if you're so upset about it to the point to where you're going to ignore everything else somebody does good or that you liked over one thing you didn't like. That's immature and it's nonsense and it's crazy. Oh, it's a lot. When I logged into Twitter yesterday to get content for this show, it was full of comments about politics. One way or the other. And that's what I'm talking about. And people just need to, sometimes you gotta just say, look, okay, me and you can agree to disagree, but it don't mean we gotta be enemies or beef. That's how mature people work things out. And I'm sure that's what, at least I'm hoping that's what Jaxson Dart and Abdul Carter did. The fans, you guys need to do the same thing. Just to be honest, it's people I don't agree with in this Giants community. I don't hate them. They don't affect me in my personal life. And I'm damn sure not going on social media to just, I'm outraged by what so-and-so said. Give a shit. It's your opinion. Now, unless you bring that to me in a personal way where it's affecting my job or my well-being or something, then we're going to have an issue. So that happens, which there's a good chance it won't for any of us, because the Giants are a football team. Unless you work for them, this shit don't affect you. Let's just have some type of optimism, because ever since I've been doing Giants content, it's been a high level of negativity. I have myself sunk into that place at times. Can we be a little positive about the direction of this team? Mm-hmm. And let's get back to being defensive Giants fans for once. Fuck the people that's dogging your team right now when they finally get good. Fuck them. Because they was on you when you were bad. So now if this team goes out and does something good, not saying they ain't hit the field yet, but if they do, be a fan. Now you can be a fan. Now you can celebrate and brag and talk shit. And that's all I'm saying. It don't gotta be doom and gloom all the time, Giants fans. Not all the time. So we should be coming out of that now with a new coach, a new quarterback, and a defense that we all like and think has potential. We should be coming out of that right now. But everything I see on social media is just the same old negativity driven by some of these same people that do not have your best interest and honestly are doing this with a hidden agenda, to boost their own brand or business up. So that's all I'm saying. I don't chase clicks over here. We just covering what's out there, so because when football starts and the pads come on, that's what the fuck we gonna be talking about here.
Facts.
But last words, Pat. I appreciate you, man. Take us out like you do, bro. And I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Chat was lit today, man. Appreciate everybody commenting. Y'all keep coming in here. Y'all comment. We're going to highlight your comments, read them. We're going to have a conversation. We want you guys involved in this just as well. You are part of this show. So appreciate y'all, man. Let's clap it up for the chat. But go ahead, Pat. Take us out, brother.
All right, man. Shout out to everybody in chat. Like NYG said, thank y'all for tuning in and coming and having a Giants conversation with us, man. Stay tuned here Sundays. We got to have conversations, man. It's a lot of conversations to be had about this team. There should be good conversations, good positive conversations about this team finally. Like I said, stop with the negativity. I've been saying it for the past 5 years. Your negativity ain't getting you nowhere fast. So, but until the next episode, until the next pair of topics that we need to have conversations about, we out, man. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe to the ABSN, to Unpopular Opinion Sports, and me as well, Big Pat Sports Talk. Peace.
Peace.